said, all I know is go. And hit it with that dough. This, and I've been focused. And all I know is just gotta go. I need the top spot, I need the whole shot. But I have your dough locked. When I go, don't stop. Because my soul won't stop. And I've been focused. And all I know is just gotta go. Yeah, heart of a soldier. Board on my shoulders. Yeah, security locked, do you know what the code is? Yeah, been stuck in the hot, been stuck in the coldest. Now I don't see no opponents. I just burn it down in the heat of the moment. And now they all notice I've been up grinding, remarkable timing. Mountains I'm climbing, sun don't stay shining, but we gon' stay riding and pressure make diamonds. Whatever the climate, if I lose my light, I will find it. I'll be a fool not to fight. I'm from the bottom, still gotta do what's right. Ain't nothing promised tomorrow.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Philadelphia Asian American Film Festival live stream. My name is Tyler Wan, and I'm a programmer here at PAF. Today, I'll be moderating the filmmaker Q&A for the film The Nodey Process. We'll be taking audience questions throughout this, so please type them into the chat. And with that, I'd like to introduce the writer of the film, Pierre, and the star himself, Nodey. Welcome.
Hello, Tyler. Hi, everybody. Hello, everybody.
Hi, Tyler.
Yeah, so for just to start off, I'd like to ask you to sort of introduce yourselves and then also tell the audience where you're coming from, where you're calling from right now.
Okay, I will start, Tyler and Pierre. So my name is Nodey. Hello, everyone. So I'm based right now in France. It's northwest of France because I'm meeting my sister, and I'm in France. But normally it's been 3 years. I live in Vietnam. But as the documentary said, I'm born and raised in France. You know, it's complicated. That's also one of the purpose of the documentary.
On my side, so my name is Tâm-Anh. I'm the writer of the Nodey Process. I'm currently based in Paris. I'm born and raised in Paris, actually. And I had the chance to live a bit abroad in Asia, in Latin America. And just before the Nodey Process, I had another experience. I had the chance to have another experience in docu-series. We call We Speak Dance. It's a show on the dance and culture that is airing on Netflix Global in 2018. And right after, I had the chance to join on the invitation on Nodey, the project on the Nodey Process, because we're a project of 4 people. We have 2 directors, myself as a writer, and Nodey, and it's been 4 or 5 years that we've been working on it, and it's a blessing.
Yeah, and I'd love to jump right into that. So speaking of like the project coming together, it really seems like, you know, a showcase of Nodey's body of work and art. So I guess I'd like to start with Nodey first and ask, when did you know you wanted to be part of a documentary, and how did you come into this process?
You know, I think it's more the best way to answer is it's just a story with friends. You know, it's just a friend's adventure. Pierre is a friend, the 2 directors and the friend, and they know me, especially the 2 directors, they know me like more than 20 years, you know, we're like a long time friend, and, you know, and they both, they all Vietnamese born in France, you know, so we have this thing in common, and I think they saw me evaluate in the music industry in France, in the French hip hop. So they start to be interested to, you know, just shoot their friends, just to make something, you know. And we start to progress. I start to include the Pierre in the project, you know, and to give more body, more depth, something like that. So yeah, so I think it started, I guess we started 6 years ago, 7 years ago, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I can bring like my perspective, because as Nodey said, I joined a bit after. I think it's something really organic, as Nodey said. I think it was the time also where Nodey produces a beat maker based in Paris who produced a lot for French rappers, and I think it was the mid 2010s, and it was the energy for him to create his own body of work, his own art, and produce for himself, because he used to produce for rappers and singers. And I think with that, there was this issue to make him more visible. So at that time, it was more about putting some images about his lifestyle, his vision. It wasn't, correct me, Nodey, if it's not the thing, but I think it was more about making some video, making some image, bring more visibility. But there was not a proper intention at that time to make it as a documentary, and just by doing and adding some conversation on the process, that we say, okay, maybe there's some stuff to do with the documentary, but at the same time, it was just to make it visible.
It's not completely that, to be correct and to fix a little bit. It was Maël and Vincent. Maël just create his own company, video company. So it's like, and his main business is to work with brands. So it's like, let's use you, Nodey, and let's film you, and we will find money from brands, And finally, I feel it was not really interesting what we want to do, and that's why I put Pierre. And we got I signed in a music label in Paris named Jana Jamais. They got us a budget with also grant from a copyright system in France named SACEM, and they give to my friends money. So we were like that. Maybe we don't need the brands, so maybe we can just make documentary about just for ourselves with our own narrative,
Yeah.
You go, Phil.
Yeah. Does that answer your question, Tyler? Or
that's so interesting, and you can really tell how organic it was. So you mentioned how you sort of brought Pierre in to sort of add that depth to the documentary, and one of the parts that I really enjoyed was how the documentary opens in 2020, excuse me, that opening scene, and how it really drives the narrative and allows it to come full circle. So could you give us more context on that scene, and what made you decide to start with that?
Do you want to ask Nodey or?
Either.
I think it's Pierre.
Answer. Yeah, sure, Pierre.
Well, I think it's a conversation. I mean, we've been discussing all together for 5 years in Messenger group, where we talk a lot of things, but also about the documentary. And I think Maël, who is the co-director and producer, he's really 360 in this. He's really versatile. He can master a lot of step of the way, and I just there was many versions that we tried, and at the end of the day, for the entrance, we think that it's good to have a picture that can capture and say, okay, where are we now, and what is the way we've been through, and I think a lot of documentary right now, that they're not afraid to go back and forth between the present, the past, the future. I mean, this is something that we can see on many type of documentaries. So at that time, I think it became obvious when we discussed all together with the co-directors and Nodey and I, that it was good to have to start with now, and then go back and forth and say, well, you see how long we what we come through, and give that perspective.
Yeah. So do you have anything to add, Nodey, or what that scene sort of means to you?
Well, just to complete, but it's a little bit the same. But I think for all the team, the fact that I had the baby I had a wife in Vietnam, the land of my ancestors, my parents, grandparents. It's like we have this feeling. It's like, maybe we can stop the documentary. Is a full circle like that, because we start the documentary, I was single, I was in Paris, I didn't plan at all to live in Vietnam. So I think that's why we start this with this footage, just to a lot of movies do that, just to start with a big element, and after we build the whole narrative, the whole story.
Yeah.
It's like It's
Oh,
like
go ahead.
it's not the end, but the process. You know, it's at some point it's already sending a sort of message from the beginning, saying what matters. It's in between, from between A to B. It's what it's in the middle of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and speaking about your journey, Nodey, you mentioned before the live stream that your main base is still in Saigon. You have your home in Saigon, and I was just while watching, I thought it was so funny how there's a specific clip where Suboy says, "Oh, maybe 3 months will turn into 3 years," and I was like counting, like this was, oh, it's 3 years now. How does that feel for you?
No, I don't know what to say. Just life is crazy. Just sometimes I think I didn't plan to live in Vietnam. I didn't plan I will marry Suboy. When they filmed me in studio, we met for the first time. I didn't have anything in mind. Sometimes you know what, I'm an artist. I don't think so much. And it's just life. Sometimes I think maybe it's the in Vietnam and Asia, we believe in ancestors, and that's our spirituality. So maybe, it's the ancestors who play in everything, and we just Muppets, and that's why,
Yeah.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason. I mean, it sounds a bit like a sort of a prefabricate quote, but sometimes it just applies for your life, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. So one thing I wanted to ask is an apparent theme of this film is how Nodey you're exploring many different forms of artistic expression, whether that's through your work with Tianzhou or your residency in Shanghai. With that now, you are now like in this documentary, and I wanted to know, like, have you always been interested in film or attracted to it?
Me interested in film. Can you be more specific in your question, Tyler, please?
Yeah, just I know a lot of the film you're shown to work closely with people who are in this visual media in film. I just wondered, like, especially like what attracted you towards like wanting to, like, you were saying like record yourself and then eventually make a documentary about it. Have you always like been interested in like making movies and stuff like that?
No, about documentary, not at all. But I'm really interested about film in general, because I think I'm a musician, and I have a weird relationship with film, because I have this feeling sometimes. I feel film is more powerful in some way than music, And as a musician, I was the guy who was thinking in my career, oh, I have to do music video, because a musician without music video doesn't exist today, So I have I was the guy from the music who's tried to understand the video, image rules to be more understood by people and heard by people. That's my main relationship with video. That's why I start to do music video. I try to meet directors to do music video. The documentary, to be honest, it was not my idea. It was more the idea of Maël and Vincebnt. And I don't have this plan, but and to finish, as a guy who grew up in this time, we all watch movie, we all watch Netflix, and we eat a lot of content, video content. So yeah, I'm interested. So in some way, I'm interested, but I don't have a specific plan for that.
Yeah. Well, I hope you're enjoying it now, being able to showcase your film and everything.
Yeah. I'm happy, but I'm really far from that world of video, to be honest. Maybe for you, Tyler, is different. Maybe you're really into the industry, but me, I know without knowing. Before, I don't know what is a festival film. Is the first time I'm in this thing, because Pierre and Maël are willing to to do a lot of festival. But me, I didn't know, to be honest.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, Pierre, of course, you're involved in film. How has working on this project been, especially in comparison to your career?
Well, it's special for sure. It's special because it talks about, Nodey is a friend I know for 10 to 15 years now, and same for Maël and Vincebnt as well. And for me, it was important to talk about our diaspora experience in Paris, because I think there's many things in at stakes, I'd say. I mean, beyond our own. I think the first intention is to make more of our friend more visible, but beyond his own case, it's our case of how to translate and tell about our diaspora, second generation Asian, like East Asian migrant or Vietnamese migrant in France, because there's a lot of lack of visibility in the public conversation in France about we are part of that country, we are part of history, and we have to tell our own story. So it's something special. I mean, of course, the experience I had before in many kind of docu-series with the We Speak Dance, Netflix, or any project, organizing festival, organizing things, there is the same energy, but of course it's more special when it comes to tell about our own diaspora experience, for sure. So that's also the fuel and the energy that makes us not counting hours on working, because it's a long, we don't really realize, because now we're in the middle of the festival campaign, but for me it's been almost 4 years. For Nodey, Maël, and Vincebnt, it's more than like 5 years. So it feels great to be where we are now, but yeah, it's quite intense, emotionally speaking.
I want to add something, maybe as I said, I never think so much about film, also because we are in France. We were in France. I was in France, and we Asian, and I never see, or I barely see Asian in film, so that's why maybe I never thought about that so much. And so I'm glad we met you, Tyler, and the Philadelphia Asian Film Festival, because it's like, whoa, it exists. I didn't know, and I hope it will open more ways, more doors, and more possibilities, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're so glad to have you, and I think that sentiment is actually something that a lot of our audience members can relate to. Actually, I'm curious, Nodey, and Pierre too, like how has your experience been sharing your film with the greater Asian diaspora?
Pierre, can you start?
Yeah, for sure. No, I feel it's something happening, Tyler, for sure. I mean, beyond presenting the movie, just a trend of we live in a social media age, when now we can connect to Instagram account, Facebook group, and there's something happening for sure, especially for Asian or East Asian diasporas around the world. I mean, there's some groups like Subtle Asian Threats or Subtle Viet Threats or something like that, or some Viet memes, or like there's something that's saying, okay, our identity, we're hybrid, like we're in between the West and Asia, we're in between France and Vietnam, we're in between, and by this age that we can formalize with those groups, those digital non-territorial community, and say, okay, we in between, our relationship with space and time is really specific to us. And no matter you have people from other political that think this different, but we have our own history in our own things. So it's of course when we learn, for example, that we've been selected to Philadelphia, like your festival, it was, some people connect with our stories, and it feels great. It feels really great. So even if of course you guys are American, we're French, we also have our own specificities. But we also have some stuff in common, and that's what is cool to live now, and that's also why we dedicate so much energy and time on this project. It's also to have that sort of meeting, and I would just conclude. For example, we had a festival in Bordeaux, in the south west of France, and and we managed to bring few Vietnamese, French, maybe they were not too numerous in Bordeaux, but it just felt, and when they just talk to us and say, oh, that's what's up. I mean, that's something cool. What you did, it's worth making the time. So, I mean, to me, it's truly a blessing that we can connect with Asian and Asian diaspora worldwide through this project.
Yeah, I love that, and I love that you said we're all hybrid. That's really great. Nodey, how about you?
No, nothing. I think Pierre said better than me what I have in my mind. So nothing to add, bro.
Yeah. Well, I think you say it pretty well in the documentary, and that's one thing that I really love about it. Like you talk so much and so passionately about how you find your peace in your Vietnamese community.
I would love to add something, Tyler. There is something I just think about now, but before we got selected in the Philadelphia Asian Festival, I didn't know. I never thought there is Asian people in Philly. To be honest, I didn't know about you. So what I said, Taman, what did he say? I think is really interesting. And one of the reasons I left France to move in Saigon is I felt, for my part, as a Parisian guy, as a French guy, we didn't, at that time, it's like 2015, I didn't have a whole Asian, Vietnamese artistic community. It was not enough strong, in France, in Paris. Most of the time I work with white, black, Arabic people in Paris, but no Asian, because we're not enough. But I feel since this last year, something changed. He talked about the group we can see on Instagram, but I feel, and I think your festival is part of that too. And I'm glad to see where it will go in the next years, because I think we're in the beginning of something. I think we all share the same feeling, but something moves for the Asian community in terms of art, in terms of speaking, in terms of voice.
Yeah, and it's definitely so important, and definitely something we've been trying to build as well. Yeah,
that's true.
So another thing that I really enjoyed about the documentary is some of the artistic choices that were made, and not only visually, but story-wise, there's some choices that really keep the audience engaged throughout the film. I guess, Pierre, could you speak to maybe some of the choices that you made, like maybe one of your favorites or one of the ones that you really enjoyed doing? Like, for example, like how you inserted music videos into the middle of the film, and even like restarted the title cards and stuff like that.
Yeah, about the music videos, I think again it's a really collective like conversation we all have, because the thing is, or content is a hybrid one as well. I mean, because we also we have actually two versions. The one that is a 1 hour, like 62 minutes, that is one, and we included the video clips, but we also have the version when we have the 3 episodes of Paris, Shanghai, Saigon, and so it's different. I mean, the whole narrative is the same, and it follows the same story, but it just some angles are different in some, in terms of experience when you watch it, of course it's different. We just adapt also to how people consume stories and content. And we just found that if we have the 3 episodes, we don't have the clips in between, but we just found out that the whole thing makes sense, because the whole music that is made by Nodey is actually the whole album that he's creating during the documentary. So, and the three music video is actually 3 of his 3 of the songs that he made in his first album. So, and each video clip is actually concluding or relating to each part of the documentary. The one when he did the one we don't want to spoil, but the one that he did at the end of the first episode he did with Chenzo, and he met Chenzo in Paris, and they started. This is where it begins. The one in Shanghai is in Shanghai, and the last one with Suba is actually the one in Vietnam. So, by and large, it's something it makes sense. So, and to us, it's just like we just end the cycle of, okay, the intention is to make Nodey's work more visible, and so that's why it's sort of a 360 thing that we wanted to bring to the table. So I don't know, yeah. So and overall, what I'm really proud of, I already told it, I think on one Q&A, is the way we managed with Nodey to design the conversation, because how he really trusted me on he was really, we did a lot of one-on-one conversation, and he, as a joke, he said that I was his therapist, like a free therapist, and so each step of the way, in Paris, Shanghai, Saigon, we managed to have conversation together, and he really shared his own visions, what he absorbed as an artist, and my role as a writer, it was to take the make sort of hierarchy of messages of what is worth, what makes sense for the whole narrative, and that way I think it's really important to have that trust, because otherwise it's sometimes it cannot work. So this is something that I'm pretty proud, because I really he did the voiceover, and to me, of course I'm biased, but I feel that he did it well. Pretty well, in telling a story, and it wasn't, for people like us who wasn't used to showcase. He's a beat maker. He's someone in the dark, but he had to tell about himself, and it's not an easy. And especially when we're Asian in the West, sometimes it can be challenging, and I'm really proud of that. At my level.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I really love how the music videos bookend those sort of chapters. And it's so interesting how in the last one, Nodey, you're actually in the video. Like Pierre's saying, like beat makers are in the background normally, but you're actually in the music video. Did you enjoy performing?
Yeah. Like, I don't think so much, and I trust people who's around me. And the director who made the last music video is a good friend of me. You see him in the documentary. Is the guy who we talk at the end. He's the long, tall guy. We talk about how can be the new Vietnamese identity. So his name is Anphi Kako. He's an amazing friend, and that's why when I try to trust people, because I feel people, and when I trust people, I can be myself, and I don't have so much fear or thing. I just do my stuff, and I just move my head and show my face and my body in music video, and that's all.
That's all you need.
Yeah, that's all I did. I don't. Sometimes I don't think so much. I just let the things happen, and at the end it works, it makes me happy, and yeah, that's cool. So
yeah. Well, I have to end with this last question. I wouldn't forgive myself if I didn't ask this. Nodey, you said you moved to Vietnam to improve your Vietnamese in part. Yeah. How is your Vietnamese now?
Wow. It's better, man. It's better. After 3 years, it starts to be better, but not enough that what I expect. I should take lessons, but I don't take lessons, but I need to start listen. So I improve, but not enough.
Okay, well, after we meet again for your next documentary, we'll see.
You will see the difference. You will see. I promise you.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I want to thank you both so much for joining in on this Q&A. Before we leave, do you want to let the audience know where they can keep up with your work?
For me, for Pierre. Yeah, go,
Nodey.
No, just if I understood the question, just you type Nodey. I have an Instagram and stuff. I'm not good in communication and promotion, so you just type my name on Google and you see what's happened. And yes, Pierre.
No, for the Nodey Process, you just type on Instagram. We just have a short Instagram just to keep you posted on news, on live, like what we do, selections, screenings, and so it's at the Nodey Process in one word. on Instagram, and yeah, follow us and activate the notification, and and let's meet, let's talk, let's exchange.
Great. Yeah. Well, thank you both again so much for joining our
Thanks,
Q&A
Tyler.
today. Yeah.
That was a great one.
Yeah, and for the audience members, you can find out more about our festival going on right now at path.org. Thank you all for tuning in.
Bye.